cookies. It's ready to throw more in, you hear it? It's cookies and milk. It's good. right back. Well, besides the mess that I left on the floor, that bucket is dang near basically done, man. I can pack about 120 pounds in each bucket, so let's conservatively say that we just granulated 100 pounds of wire within the live stream. And yeah, dumping it out the window would have been the next thing to do, but I'm not going to do that right now because I have to finish the rest of the video that I'm making today, which is going to be basically sluicing. So if you tune in tomorrow for my video, you'll see the sluice in action. It's actually, I don't know what time it is right now, actually. Let's see. Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock, so I got a couple more hours till dark. Does anybody have any questions? I pre-chop it into like 1 and 2 foot sections and I toss it in, as you guys can see. There's hardly anything in this bucket either. So look, there's probably like 5 pounds there and then 5 pounds on the floor that I basically just I'll be doing after this one, after this live stream anyway. Yeah, I noticed as soon as I turned the granulator off, 15 people entered back in. Jessica, hey you! I told you I would leave you a message, and I even, did you get, what is that thing that you said that you should have before I start a live? Did anybody else get that, like a message or a notification? Yes. Thank you for making it in. Yeah, I'm eating milk and cookies and dumpster cookies, but they're good. I got a whole case of them, and well, I was thinking, I did not see E-Waste Mike's name in the video. I don't know if he's here or not, but I'm gonna get him one of these for his Christmas present when I go and drop those boards off to him. You think he'll like it? No, it's just kind of funny because he specifically said stop eating dumpster cookies. Well, it hasn't killed me yet, and they're cheaper than Oreos by a lot. You know, that'd be my next choice if I had to buy cookies. It would be Oreos. It's classic Oreos and milk. It's always good. Where's Mason at? Hey Mason. Yo. I'm gonna go see where he is. He's always out back. Mason. Come on, here. There's a squirrel in here. Mason, see, there's a squirrel. Right there. See, he was in the backyard, And he's got the ball in his mouth because he's on defense mode. He's keeping squirrels out of the territory. That's his weapon. His Halloween costume is a police uniform. Also tune in for that later. And future videos coming up real soon, actually. But he's gonna go get the squirrels, and I'm gonna get back to the live stream. So you go get them. There he goes. As soon as I drop him down, he's like a dart. Go straight back there. You got the notification this time. Awesome. I'm glad I'm actually doing something right there. You know, one thing I didn't know about live streams up until just the last couple ones is you got to fill that thing out just like a video. Like my long form videos, I have to do all that editing just for the live stream. That's one thing I did not know. It's exactly like uploading a movie or a video like I make. Yeah, Ronnie. I mean, he says, I don't buy name brand cookies anymore. Family Dollar and Dollar General cookies for me. Yeah. I like the cookies that have the free finger discount. You know, not the 5, the free. You just got to know where to look, I guess. But finding stuff and scrap and all kinds of any kind of goods out dumpster diving, a lot of the time I can say it's completely random about what you throw in, unless you definitely know that it's like at an electrician dumpster or plumbing and heating or this or that. You kind of know what to expect is to find copper, brass, and tin shred and stuff like that. But I don't know why I'm yammering on about that. Does anybody else have any more questions about the granulator? Well, Brian's got a question here. Is that, see, this granulator, the person that first bought the machine, he was using it to shred semi-tires. And it came with a really nice set of carbide blades that have just lasted. I haven't changed them yet. They're damaged and they're messed up. The carbide, like the blade straight across, you'll see chips out of it and stuff, but it was like that when I bought it because the guy was literally shredding semi-tires with the steel bands and all that stuff in it. And the machine was taking it like that for as long as he owned it, I guess. But I think it's all down to the style of blades that you put in it. Because, I can make this machine run like this every time, but if I had a set of blades in there to only cut plastic, it'd be a different story if I tried chopping wire with that, But maybe in one of my upcoming videos after I get done with this, I'll pop that underside cover down and show you guys the blades that are under there. There's, how many blades is there? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 4 per each slot, and there's 3 slots, so you got 4, 8. You got 12 blades in there about this long. Okay, and basically it looks like a big ass paddle in there, but it's sporting real long carbide blades, 14 of them, and they're really strong blades too, from what I've seen. Because if they can, that single set of blades could chew semi tires day after day, I don't know how much he would use it, but when I went to go pick the place up, or pick it up, I bought it from his brother because the owner of the machine, he died. So it was his brother that I actually bought it off of. And that's the main reason why it came up for sale. And yeah. What else? We got more questions in here? Any more questions? Hey, Jessica, you said, hey, I love that you try the food. You never know. You could run into some really good stuff. It could save you a bunch of money down the line. And hey, I've had good scores like that before, but I haven't really felt like recording them and putting them on YouTube, like taking like a carload of food or whatever. There was one time I can't explain real quick. I think my battery is dying, so there was a dollar store in the middle of winter, and they had like a power outage or whatever, and they basically ordered a dumpster to come in, and since it was like at the ending or beginning of a holiday, everything in that freezer went straight to a dumpster the same exact day. Everything was still frozen. And I loaded my car down so heavy with food, it was squatting like I was rolling with copper and brass in my car. Yeah. And I, I gave a lot of it away. I stored a lot of it and I ate for free for a long time. And I was like, never again will I, try to turn up not take an opportunity like that to save money. Food's not cheap. You guys have gone grocery shopping lately. You know what's out there and what prices are. It's stupid. You can't even fill up a quarter of a cart for $100. Now you're going to ask a guy like me not to take the free food? Okay. Yeah. I'm not ranting toward or at anybody. I'm just talking. Okay, living off scraps. He says, how many more buckets of copper do you have? That was the last one. I chopped them all today. Of the machine wire that is ready. Anyways, let me see. Do you guys see it when I pin a comment? Does that comment highlight up in front of everybody, or is it just the one person? I'm curious about that. Because I notice I can pin a comment and talk about it. If it works like that, let me know. But yeah, that was my last bucket of ready machine wire. Now I have 4 or 5, or no, I got 6 buckets of MLC that I got to strip and then chop up. So maybe tomorrow or the next day's video is going to be stripping BX wire, bagging the aluminum on my left, and throwing the machine wire into the granulator. So it'll be a bit of a different process in here, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna be laying it all on the floor, like all lengthwise, like the BX cable, and then I'm gonna basically strip the wire and then throw it straight in. Strip it, throw it straight in, and then just repeat that process, filling the aluminum MLC bag and the machine wire straight into the granulator. And then after that process is done to all 5 or 6 buckets tomorrow, I'm going to sluice all that as well. Yep. It's in black. Okay. Can everybody see the pinned comment when I pin one? Or is it just... Well, obviously, what Julie is saying, because Julie's definitely not living off scraps. Well, I don't know that, but you know what I mean. The two of you. Living off scraps name can go in a sentence easily. Yeah. It's not a bad thing. Any other questions that I am not seeing? Jessica says she watches a ton of videos of people getting dumpster fines. That's really cool. I do too, actually. I watch quite a few. One of my favorite YouTubers, I haven't really mentioned his name all that much, but type in VidVulture. The guy rides around on a moped, and he lives off of his dumpster dive fines. And he just has a small apartment, and he just goes about it that way. He doesn't have a car, doesn't have to make all the payments. He's got a bike he rides around on. He started off on a small moped, but now he's got kind of a looking like little calf racer type bike. It looks cool, but definitely don't look like no moped now. But yeah, he'll go around and dumpster dive in his local areas and make a dime off of it. And everybody's saying yes. They're all seeing it. That's cool. Indiana Power Clean. No, it is not. I don't think it's a hammer mill type, if I had to say myself. It's more of a granulator, really. I'm trying to think of what year it was made in. It's like a 2014 or 2015 year granulator. It comes from Sweden. It's called Rapid Force. Yeah. And it just so happens that I use a Rapid Force to separate the plastic and copper. So it just, in my head, it kind of sounded right. But in my head, that was the only granulator I could find around. These things are hard to find. Newer ones in good shape. Good luck. without spending an arm or a leg. But I fortunately was enough to be able to get this one cheap, because unfortunately the owner of it passed away. He died. And it was his brother that I bought it off of, because he was trying to sell off his stuff and make room at their yard or whatever they do. Apparently they chop semi-tires up, because that's why I got this. You know. And it was crazy, yeah, when I got there, there was mounds of shredded tires up, and I'm like, that machine right there chopped all that up. And he goes, yeah, man, one set of blades too. I'm like, holy crap. I was excited to hear that, but I was also nervous. I'm like, oh man, I'm about to get sold a lemon. This thing this thing chopped up 30 to 50, 80 yards of tires in its life. You know, but lo and behold, man, I got it all set up here. I got hooked up to a nice transformer and a nice phase converter. And this thing chops wire like crazy. From the time that I was running this granulator was the amount of time it took me to chop about, I would say, 100 pounds, maybe a little bit more. I got a mess on the floor, but I had to stop because my battery is dying on the GoPro. I'm going to go until it dies, everybody. And then unfortunately that's the end of this video, this live stream. Look at this thing. I know this is way off topic, but look at that. It's a wall hanging hillbilly. I actually got that as a gift from somebody that is no longer here on this earth. So yeah, that was more of a sentimental gift, and that's a hint. It might be in the next video. Okay, him and his missus. Yeah. I still can't get used to looking at the phone and seeing it lag 10-15 seconds, because I'm looking at it and I haven't even shown you guys that hillbilly hanger thing. Now I am. See, look at that right there. That's how long it lagged. So yeah, the guy that made those for me, he's gone now, but he was a good friend of mine and he had a sense of humor. So just take that with a grain of salt when you watch the next video. Okay. That was the camera up there. You guys are going to be in the next video. So, yeah. Jessica says I subscribed and thank you. Oh, about VidVulture. Yeah, he's a really cool guy, man. He makes his whole living off of a single moped. And if that doesn't interest you enough to go over to his channel and hit a like and subscribe, I don't know what will, because that's ingenious. A moped dumpster diving in industrial areas, that's an ingenious idea. You know, and that could be one of the tricks up my sleeve. I don't know. You'll have to watch and figure out. Could you run longer wire instead of cutting it into short pieces? Unfortunately, Ronnie, I could. But imagine the inside of this this chopper working, right? It's spinning quite fast. This one does. So if you run a single strand of wire in there, the wire that's winding inside might not chop fast enough, and it might slow the machine down or make it struggle. That's one of the main reasons. So what I do is, I know that looks like a pain in the butt, and I used to have a different pair of shears that worked way better with a shorter handle, but I'm kind of using these Greenleaf ones, which is still a good brand. This one I found out of a dumpster, along with every other one. I got like six or eight pair of these I pulled out of a dumpster one night, and I've had sets of these ever since. I know I got like 4 or 5 just laying around, but I got to go through them and fix the bolts on them. That's about it, and then they're good. They last forever. But 2-foot pieces or less is good for this machine, which isn't all that bad when I'm chopping them like that, because you guys just seen me process almost basically over 100 pounds of wire. in this one live stream, and we've been talking for quite a bit. So you can kind of judge and gauge how long it took me to chop that. Yeah, that I would say is the most strenuous part, is pumping my arm, cutting wire, which isn't all that bad. And I gotta show you guys this. Look at Mason boy. He's hanging out in the shop with Debbie. Look at that. See, he's sniffing out the copper, guys. Look at that. Yeah, all this stuff is ready to sluice. That big old bag out there. We got 3 tubs here. And we got a bunch sitting out on the rack right now too. So I am quite curious to see what our total is going to be. And I am going to turn it all in at once, I think. So it's just a straight, clear, easy shot, one deal. And I'll have the money that I need. I have enough right now to be able to pay the mechanic. And all the parts and the axles and everything are all ordered. That was like a 30... It's going to be like